what's some lesson or advice you want to give to the young art people or just artists in general?
Yeah. I'll say the biggest, like I said, once again, the biggest advice I have is do not quit. Do not quit and like create from your passion. And once you create from your passion, like you'll find, because some people, they're like, oh, I want to like cater to this audience, or I want to cater to that audience. Finding your audience is extremely important. Finding your audience is extremely important. If you want your audience to be like a bunch of like young kids or whatever, yeah, that's cool. You want your audience to be like a bunch of like wealthy people, you can make art that way. But make sure you're doing it from your passion, because if you do it from your passion, one, you won't, that thought of quitting will never like, that thought of quitting will never come up. Yeah. And also like when you create from your passion, that's when you'll really be able to create phenomenal work. Because people, I don't know what it is, but people can kind of see like, they can kind of see when the individual is being phony or when the individual is like really about what they're like creating.
Not trying to flex and just fake it, you know.
Yeah, and when they see that, they gravitate towards that. It's like, it's kind of magnetic. It's very magnetic, and you'll find your audience through that. Like, so I would say like create, and also have no fear. Have no, that's probably my number one advice to a young artist. Like, have no fear. Like, have no fear. I'm still like battling some things where I'm like, was that like thinking too big right there? Like, nah, don't think anything is too big. And it just started like increasing. Eventually, like I was able to, what the social media basically did was like get my eyes on my stuff where people would like start purchasing my art. I remember the first time someone bought some of my art, it was while I was in Philadelphia. It was the first time where I was like invited to be a part of shows. It was the first time I was doing shows.
How did that feel? Amazing?
It was dope, man, because it was like, honestly, like I'll be real with you, like even right now, like when I talk to some people and they like kind of like their perspective of what I'm kind of doing, because like when your head has tunnel vision and you like focus on the further vision that you see that you want to get to, you're just pummeling through everything that you don't really notice what you're doing. But people who are perceiving you as you're going through that path, they're looking at you like, oh man, you achieved this accomplishment, you did this, you did that. You don't really see it. You're just like, I'm just climbing the ladder up to the goal.
Just focus on yourself, keep doing it.
Exactly. So when people like tell you how they perceive and what they're seeing that you're doing, you're like, oh, I appreciate that, but like my vision is much larger than what this is currently.
So like, I'm pretty sure you had a bigger mindset compared to other friends, I guess, or other people compared to small mindset, or?
I don't know. I'll be real. I don't really like speak with like too many people. I'm more so
yourself.
Yeah, I'm an introvert, and the individuals that I do speak to is like my best friend is my business partner. Like I've always, ever since we were in school, we've always had like this is what we're gonna do. Yeah. Like he's not like an artist or anything, but he's a business. He's a business mind. Like, you know what I'm saying. So we've always just had the motto of just like, you know, might as well like take it to the top. Like might as well like, if you're gonna do something, put your all in it. From the smallest things, we've always just kind of been like, if I'm gonna put my energy in something, I might as well do it to like the furthest extent. Like put all my energy in it.
So was it your motivation, or who else was your motivation that kept you going and keep doing all this career? Joining.
You saying people are you talking about around me or people?
Or what motivated you to do this thing, I guess?
What motivated me? I gotcha. I would say, my bad, I'm rambling. I would say the one thing, because if you take a look at my art, it's a common theme going on. And I would say I still remember the one day, like the Trayvon Martin situation, you know, when he was murdered by George Zimmerman. I remember going through, seeing the whole process, just like consuming it just like everybody else. But at the end of the day, like, all right, that's effed up what the dude did, but he's going to get found guilty because he obviously killed this boy. And as like the news, I don't watch the news no more, but as I was kind of like looking at the news and they were kind of like leaning towards he might get off, I'm like, no, there's no way he's going to get off. And then when he actually, the verdict was not guilty, I remember that moment. I feel like I kind of transformed in that moment. Wow. It was kind of, I don't know what they were doing, if that was some type of like, it hit me like really heavily, like, yo, that's not right. Like, I was like, yo, what else? Just like, I felt like I was like in a history book in the sense of like, it's like the 1960s or something. Like, this is like ridiculous in the sense of like, how could something like this happen? how could something, this is an obvious case, this guy guilty, he murdered this boy. Yeah. And I just felt the need of like, yo, something needs to be done. So, and I was just like, all right, what power, like what gift do I have that I can like kind of, because I feel like I wanted to say something, but like I couldn't.
Yeah.
And there's nothing you can really do. Like so I said, I'm just going to create art like pertaining towards things of this nature, like kind of giving, originally it was like, I'm going to give a voice how I feel, but like when I started putting it online, when I started doing shows, I noticed that people could like relate to it. People like, it resonated with a lot of people. It resonated, the feelings that I had resonated with a whole bunch of people when I put it into work. So yeah, I would say that was the motivation of creating the work that I create now.
Because like right now, the people have the talent, but they have no motivation, so they're stuck, and they don't know how to push forward, you know?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
My advice to them would be just to, like,
I feel like people are very insecure, you know, they don't want to be judged or have haters along the way, you know?
Fear is...
I think fear.
Fear is your biggest opponent. Fear, like, I gave up on fear a long time ago. Yeah. Like, I gave up on fear a long time ago, but when I was, like, being kind of hesitant, fear was the main thing. Yeah. Fear of, like, oh, what would people think? What would my friends think? Like, what would, you know, just, like... Fear of like not being accepted, fear of putting something out there and people not understanding, fear, a whole bunch of fears. And then I honestly don't know what it was, but one day I just was like, I don't care, like this is what it is.
Because I feel like also if you surround yourself with people that believe in you or support you, you have more like, I guess, a better feeling and just you know?
Yeah, definitely. I would definitely say community. While I was in Philadelphia, that's a good point. While I was in Philadelphia, within my second or third year being there, I found a community. It's called Global Village. You just surrounded really about, and what they are is just a community of just creatives. I guess it's called people of color, but like just a whole bunch of creatives. I'm not talking about just artists. I'm talking about singers, rappers, photographers, painters, dancers, and everybody would just join together in these jam sessions. And like the energy that they would put on, it was crazy. Cause like everybody was supporting there. Everybody was like, "What do you do?" Like, oh, "I'm a painter." Like, "Show me your work." And then this person could be a dancer or a singer or a photographer, and everybody would just like kind of lift each other up. I would say that was like, in the sense of what you're saying, like having a community. I would say that was the creative community that I found within Philadelphia that really like motivated me. Cause there would be time, cause they used to have jam sessions every 2 weeks on Thursdays, and what I would do would after the jam sessions, like the energy that I would gain from the jam sessions, I would like go home and like work on a piece or whatever.
Do more than you expected, right?
Yeah, it would give me like a boost of energy, like, yo, let's go get it. Let's push through and finish this piece or whatever. So I would say that was community is very important.
How did you overcome those obstacles, like when people were, I guess, not supporting you or just like, I guess, not a big fan of you or your work? How did you overcome that? You know what, I got this. What are some of the things that you did to put yourself in a positive situation and just start doing what you want?
You gotta like, honestly, man, which is very hard in today's world. You really just like gotta have tunnel vision. I mean, I know I create art that some people they agree with and some people they just don't agree with. Like me, like when I put something out there into the world, like when I'm creating something, I know basically like a lot of the artwork that I create, they're really just visions that come into my head, and I like trust the vision, and I developed the vision. It takes me about, to be honest with you, it takes me like 3 to 4 weeks to sometime a month to like create one piece. So like I get that idea, I get that vision, and it will develop throughout that 3 to 4 or 5 weeks. And I know like what my message, I don't create a piece without some type of message I'm trying to put across within that piece. So when I'm working on that piece, I know what my message is. If people misinterpret it, I don't give any descriptions of the work. Like however people interpret it, I want you to have that. Like, cause that's your perception. That your perception comes from your own whatever happened within your life, whatever your own personal views were. I'm not gonna go against it. However, what I want, what I do is I put it into the world and I just leave it alone. I don't read any comments. I mean, when I'm at shows, that's when you'll kind of like hear people's opinions or like what they see within it or whatever. But in terms of like the internet, I don't really read it in comments just because I know what my original message was when I created the piece. And even if it's not, I'm not just saying even negative comments, even good comments. Like I just don't read it. I just know like what my vision is, what I want to create.
They don't know what you're going through. They don't know the hard work that you put in behind that artwork.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah. They don't know the hard work, and also sometimes like, you know, people's own perceptions. Like people's own perceptions, they may have their own like description of what this piece might mean or something like that. And one of my main reasons to like not like kind of like focus on what an individual may think of the work is just because I don't want my own thoughts to kind of be geared toward, like even a positive statement or something positive someone might think. I don't want that. Oh, people really like when I draw this type of artwork. Let me add this in it just because I know people like. Nah, I feel like when you do that, you're starting to like.
You're putting other people's opinion in that.
Yeah, and I feel like the visions, whatever is downloading into my mind, like I feel like it's coming from like a pure place, and I don't want it to be like tainted by like, oh, let me add this just because I know people like that, how to get them all riled up. Like, nah, like I want to like just have that complete focus and faith in whatever these streams of consciousness are coming from.
So is art the only thing that you're doing so far, or is anything else you doing beside art? Or?
Other than that, I mean, New York has been. I've been here for like a year, and
it's pretty busy out here. It's a lot of people over here.
New York is amazing. This is
you meet a lot of different type of people too, different jobs, different opportunities out here.
That's what I'm saying. Like it's like it's been the best. Honestly, it's probably been the best decision I've ever made in my life to move here, just because like. I'm like you said, like I do create, but I'm being offered so many other opportunities. And it's creative. Oh, I love it, man. This is, and not even in the sense of just the opportunities, but like you walk outside, man, and you just see so many. So many different types of people. So many, like the backdrop of the skyline, like the sounds, like the smells, which are a whole nother conversation. But like there's so much. You kind of get sensory overload here. And which is a positive and negative. Because when I was in Philly, like,
is it better? Do you love it here better than Philly, or?
I love Philly. I mean, there are pros and cons of this place versus Philly, and there are pros and cons of this place versus New York, New York versus Philly. I wouldn't say like I like one more than the other, because there were some elements in Philly that I absolutely love that I haven't found here at least yet. I would say Philly, man. Philly's just a real city. Like if the people there mess with you, they mess with you. If they don't, they don't. And like it's just you can tell it's a genuine love. At least from the community that I was in, like it's a genuine love. Like these people, like
they support you. They always by your side.
Yeah, exactly. I would say that about Philadelphia.
So what are some of the routines that you do that, you know what, you wake up, I'm gonna have a good day, I'm probably gonna work out, eat a good breakfast. What are some of the routines that you do that keeps you motivated and just a better person, you know, start doing better artwork? What are some of the routines that you do?
I would say routines that I do, man. I definitely am like heavy into like meditation in the sense of like.
Yeah, we get that a lot. A lot of people meditate over here.
No, it's a reason that's a common denominator, because at least for what it does to me, it like
clears the mind.
Clears the canvas, like because especially moving here, like your mind is, like I said, sensory overload. There's so much. Oh, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. What did this person say? Like, oh, I gotta throw out the trash. There's so much going on that sometimes you need just that clear slate, and that's what meditation has done for me for like multiple years now. Like, especially in high stress situations. Also, just like taking. Also, because like when I go in on whatever project I'm working on, I'm going in like that's what I'm purely focused on. However, there has to be, not every day, but there has to be moments where sometimes you just like go outside. And just be within the moment. Like, it ain't gotta be all day, but it's just gonna be like 30 minutes or something. Writing as well is very important.
Spend some time for yourself.
Yeah, spend some time for yourself. I would say that's very important, because like all these are kind of like leading up to when you are going to take on. This is more so what you would do before you go and take on the day. Now, when you're like out there like battling and taking on the day. Like it's whatever, like you're within that battle, but I feel like there has to be like a moment of peace, a moment to yourself before you, especially out here, before you like go into, I call it the beast.
Yeah, like the moment you wake up, you have so many things going on, people going at you, you know. You have
so many things.
If you wake up, you check your phone, the social media going on, you gotta like calm down.
Yeah.
Take some time for yourself. You know?
Yeah, I haven't put this in my life yet, but a lot of I listen to a lot of like individuals who I look up to, not just painters, but just iconic figures, and not all of them, but one common denominator that I've heard is like a lot of them won't look at their phones for the first 30 minutes to an hour when they wake up. They like kind of take that time for themselves. Yeah. And I kind of look at that's something that I want to employ. I'm not gonna lie and be like, yo, that's what I'm doing right now. Nah, it's not. Like, it's kind of like the first thing I reach for, like what's going on.
Because like honestly, like I think people become addicted just by waking up and look at their phone.
It is.
But also it's a hard habit to just like wake up and just not look at your phone, because
it is.
You have to get used to it, you know.
Yeah. It is.